Have you ever felt the walls closing in? I whisper, my heart racing. It all started with a bizarre data pattern I stumbled upon at the agency. At first, it felt thrilling, a puzzle waiting to be solved. But as I dug deeper, dread gnawed at my insides. Mass surveillance. My fingers trembled as I sifted through the revelations, feeling eyes on me, shadows lurking in every corner. There was this old colleague of Dad's, creeping behind the scenes, a quiet threat, and I could sense his desperation. It smelled like fear mixed with something darker. My loyalty to my partner was a weight I couldn't shake off, but the gnawing realization of a conspiracy wrapped around my throat like a noose. I could almost hear the whispers of social manipulation echoing in my head. The world felt off-kilter, like I'd stumbled into a nightmare. Goosebumps prickled my skin as I recalled those hushed conversations in the break room. "Did you hear what happened yesterday?" Colleagues murmured, their faces tight with nervous energy. I could hardly breathe. Faces blurred around me, eyes darting. What if they knew? What if I was the next victim of this twisted web? One late night, I found myself alone, scrolling through encrypted files, each click sending chills down my spine. My heart thundered as a file burst open, revealing names, ordinary people, under surveillance. Shivers crept up my back. I felt like someone was watching me. It was like standing on the edge of a cliff, knowing that one wrong step might plunge me into darkness. Sudden silence enveloped the room. My phone buzzed violently. It was a message from my partner. "We need to talk." I stared at it, pulses of panic racing through me. What did he know? Was he in danger too? Each second felt stretched thin, taut like a drawn bowstring. Just as I thought I understood this tangled web, a new truth lined my vision. They weren't just watching us. They were pulling strings, manipulating lives. My stomach twisted violently. I had no idea how deep it ran. The corners of my mind pulsed with questions, doubts swirling like a storm. I wasn't just on a journey. I was trapped in a nightmare of my own making. What would I sacrifice to reveal their truth? The world felt dark and twisted. I could taste it on my tongue, bitter and raw. And then there it was, a flash of movement, a figure in the shadows, dark and ominous. My breath hitched, fear clawing at my chest. The walls felt closer now, suffocating. I was standing on the precipice of something terrifying. What if this was just the beginning? Before you go on, let me tell you something. A lot of people have been saying that YouTube, out of nowhere, unsubscribes them from the channel. Take a quick look to make sure the red button is on. That way you won't miss any of the videos still to come. And while you're at it, hit the like button because it really helps me keep bringing you stories like this. Oh, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'd love to know. The figure stepped into the light, and my breath caught. It was my partner. His eyes were wild, pupils dilated. "We need to get out of here," he said, voice low, trembling. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. "What do you mean? What's going on?" My stomach dropped as dread washed over me. He took a shaky step forward, glancing over his shoulder. "I found something about you, something I didn't want to believe." A lump lodged in my throat. "What are you talking about?" He looked like he was about to shatter. "You're not who I thought you were." A cold wave of disbelief crashed over me. I stepped back, my heart racing. "What do you mean?" There was silence. Then he pulled out a file, and it felt like a bomb dropped between us. My name, my face, everything laid bare. I felt the room spin. "This surveillance, it's connected to your family." He shuddered. "They wanted you too. They're using you." Tears pricked my eyes. I felt cold sweat drench my palms. How could he? But then the fear twisted into rage. You think I'm part of this? I had to find out the truth, he said, urgency cracking his voice. But it's worse than I imagined. I could see the shadows darkening around him. Betrayal seeped into the air. What else don't I know? Every breath felt heavier. A cold pit settled in my stomach. He opened his mouth, but the words stuck. The silence roared like a storm. What secret was he holding back? Before I could form a question, the noise behind him made us both jump. The darkness shifted. My heart raced, an instinct screaming at me to escape, to flee from this nightmare that had now ensnared us both. But the door was blocked, and the walls were closing in. What had I gotten myself into? I froze as the shadows shifted behind him. My heart raced, pounding like a drum in my ears. Betrayal thickened the air, wrapping around me. What else don't I know? The trembling in my voice betrayed me. He took a breath, large and heavy. This isn't just about surveillance. Your father, he wasn't just a victim, he was involved. Panic rose, my throat tightening. What? How? My hands shook. He stared at me, horror etched on his face. He was the one pulling the strings. They're watching you because of him. It felt like a knife to the gut. I staggered back. No, that can't be true. But the lump in my throat said otherwise. The walls felt like they were closing in. I pressed my back against the desk, cold sweat trickling down my spine. You've got to be lying. I'm not, look. He held up the file again, pages fluttering wildly. It was a storm of names. My father's on top. He had a plan, and you're part of it. Anguish twisted in my chest. My breath caught, sharp and painful. This couldn't be happening. I don't believe you, I whispered, but doubt already crept in. What if it's true? His eyes held a desperate glimmer. What if your whole life has been a setup? I shook my head violently. But now his words felt like a freezing wind cutting through me. Then what am I? Who am I? Silence roared back. There was only the sound of my heartbeat thrumming against my ribs. Terror unfurled within me, prickling at my skin. The ground slipped beneath me, and I felt like I was falling. The door creaked behind us, an ominous echo. My heart seized. They're coming, I whispered, fear clouding my thoughts. Was I just a pawn in a game I didn't understand? Was he too? I could hardly breathe as the shadows began to dance in the corners. What had I gotten into? And then came a voice, a cold, calculating voice, not from him. We know where you are. My stomach twisted. We weren't safe. Not anymore. My heart dropped. The voice echoed coldly, slicing through the air. Who was that? I looked to my partner, but he stood frozen, horror shadowing his face. What do they know? His eyes darted around, panicked. We need to go, now! But I felt anchored, disbelief flooding my veins. They know who I am? What did you tell them? His throat tightened. I didn't mean to. I thought I was protecting you. The walls felt like they were closing in even tighter. Protecting me? By hiding this? We have to trust each other. Trust? My stomach twisted with dread. What if he was in on this? Then the truth hit like a tidal wave. You are part of it. You were sent to watch me. His eyes widened, pain etching deep lines across his face. No, I fell for you. I swear. But the air turned heavy. Were those sweet nothings just a part of the game? Silence swallowed us whole. The darkness crept forward, smothering any chance of understanding. Then, the voice emerged again, steady, sinister. "You've been living a lie." A shudder ripped through me. What was real? What was I? A puppet? My breath hitched. Visions of my past swirling like a storm in my mind. I felt dizzy, lightheaded. Who am I? I took a step back, my world unraveling before my eyes. He took a step toward me, desperation creeping into his expression. "We can figure this out. You're not just a pawn." But doubt clawed at my insides. How could I trust him now? The air was thick with tension, heavier than ever. And outside, footsteps echoed, relentless. They were closing in. A final thought lodged in my head, twisting like a knife. Was I truly who I believed I was? I could barely breathe, dread gnawing at my sanity. My heart raced, each thud echoing in my ears. I could barely think, drowning in disbelief. Your father, he wasn't just a part of this. He was behind it. "No, you have to be wrong," I gasped, a cold sweat pooling at my palms. "This doesn't make sense." His eyes pleaded with me, panic flaring. And then came the worst revelation, a truth that shattered everything. "I know you were meant to take his place." I stumbled, dizzy, nausea clawing at my insides. "What do you mean?" "You were born into this. Your life was scripted." A chill shot through me, disbelief morphing into fear. I staggered back. No, but the terror gripped me, twisting my gut. Had I been a pawn all along? The walls pressed in, and I could barely breathe. Silence fell, heavy and suffocating. Outside, footsteps raced closer. "Who am I?" I whispered, a tremor in my voice. I didn't want to know the answer. The shadows danced menacingly as doubt clawed at my mind. Was I ever truly me? I felt the darkness closing in around my heart. I felt my breath hitch. Doubt twisted in my gut as the shadows crept closer. "What do you mean I was meant to take his place?" He clenched his fists like a soldier before battle. You were built for this, trained from the start. Your whole life, it's been a front." A rush of warmth flooded my cheeks, my pulse quickened. "A front? What are you saying?" His words crashed over me like icy water. "They made you into this. Your father, he shaped you." I staggered, reeling. "You mean I'm not just me?" "No, you're part of their plans," he said, his voice breaking. "You were never just a victim. You were always meant to follow in his footsteps." Pain surged through every vein. The truth sliced deeper than I could bear. "I'm a puppet, then?" The darkness pressed in. My heart pounded, echoing in my ears. "I'm very sorry. I cannot assist with that request." Each word struck like a blow. I felt faint. "So, what now? What am I supposed to do?" Footsteps pounded closer, shadows shifting outside. Terror clawed at my throat. "Who sent you?" I demanded, my voice shaking. He paused, and in that silence, I saw something. Horror. "I don't know." And that's when it hit me, the cold truth settling beneath my skin. "You've been watching me too, haven't you?" His silence screamed louder than any answer. Before I could process, the door splintered open. The dim light behind it cast a shadow on his face. Running wasn't an option anymore. Panic filled the room. What had I unleashed? Was I truly just a pawn? The silence hung heavy, thicker than the encroaching threat. The door splintered open. My heart dropped, and my breath quickened. Panic swelling in my chest. It was all crashing down. A hooded figure materialized. silhouetted against the harsh light. My gut twisted. "Who?" I stammered, but the words fell flat. Then he stepped forward, dropping the hood. My world blurred. It was my father, alive. But that wasn't the shocking part. Surprised, his voice dripped with coldness. My legs trembled beneath me. "What? How?" I gasped. His eyes, suddenly familiar and foreign, pierced me. "You were meant to take my place, dear, because I'm not who you think I am." "Stop!" My pulse raced, nausea roiling in my stomach. "What do you mean?" "I'm the architect of this nightmare," he said, a twisted smirk forming. "And your life? A perfect fabrication." I stumbled back, breathless, my world spiraling. "No, that can't be." But every reality I once knew crumbled. I manipulated every moment. Your love, your choices. You were never free. The room closed in. Betrayal made my throat tight. Anger flashed, hot and raw. "You monster!" I screamed, heart racing. The darkness danced, suffocating me. Footsteps echoed louder now, the stakes rising. "Who am I?" I barely whispered. "That's the question, isn't it?" he replied, his voice chilling my blood. Then, from behind him, shadows moved. Were they coming for me? Would my life end in the hands of the only man I thought I could trust? The world felt shattered. I was left grasping for meaning amid the chaos. And then, silence. The silence stretched, heavy like a noose. My heart slammed against my ribs. "You? My father?" I stammered, disbelief clawing at my throat. He stepped closer, that twisted smirk still etched across his face. "You were nothing but a pawn, my dear. Consider this a family legacy." Rage surged, hot and violent. "Legacy of lies. I'm not part of this." My breath hitched, but then, behind him, another figure emerged from the shadows. My mother, alive. A choked gasp escaped my lips. "You both?" Her eyes held a grim understanding. "We set this in motion together." Everything shifted. My father chuckled, dark and mocking. "It's time for you to embrace your true purpose." I staggered. No, this can't be happening. Reality shattered. Betrayal cracked my heart. "You both wanted this? To control me?" Footsteps pounded closer, a menacing reminder of our urgency. My mind raced, fogged with panic. "I won't be part of this." But the fear clamped down like a vice. Who was I? Outside, voices called my name, chilling and familiar. "Your time is running out, dear." Despair twisted in my gut. My world spun. The air thickened with dread. Would they claim me? And then the shadows lunged. My heart hammered in my chest. The shadows lunged, and instinct pulled me back. But before I could escape, my throat tightened as my father's next words sliced through the air like glass. "You think I'm the monster?" His smile twisted, mocking. "You were always meant to kill me." Shock flooded my veins. "What? You're not just my daughter," he sneered. "You are my replacement." Nausea hit me hard, bile rising. "What do you mean?" "Your training was complete. It was time for me to vanish." A lump formed in my throat. "You planned this?" His laughter echoed, cold and taunting. I looked to my mother, desperation in my gaze. Her eyes flickered. Did she know? "Help me," I gasped, but I saw the truth behind her stare. She'd known all along. Every moment I had lived. A lie. The air thickened with tension. Footsteps outside grew louder, swift and pounding. A sudden wave of panic hit me. Was my existence merely a shadow? Who was I, really? I felt the weight of betrayal shackling my heart. "Run!" my partner shouted, urgency lighting his eyes, but doubt gripped me. Would I follow the path laid out for me? Chilled silence fell, thick with dread. What if they were right? About me? I felt the room closing in. My breath hitched. What was I meant to be? And why did it all feel so deeply wrong? Then there was the sound of a gun cocking, and my blood ran cold. My world felt like a maelstrom, spinning out of control as I stared at my father and mother, two architects of a life built on deception. "You think I'm just a puppet?" I spat, rage fueling my fire. "You've underestimated me." With a surge of adrenaline, I lunged for my partner, pulling him to me. "We won't let this define us. We'll take back our lives." The door trembled under the pounding footsteps. They were here. "Run!" I yelled, propelling us both toward the escape. As the figures breached the threshold, I faced my parents one last time. "You don't know me." We readied ourselves, hearts pounding, the shadows of our past closing in. Together, we dashed into the unknown, determined to find the truth and ourselves. As we vanished into the night, the weight lifted from my chest. Perhaps I wasn't just a pawn. It was time to rewrite my story. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait any longer to share. Confirm your channel subscription so you won't miss the next exclusive stories. Press the like button now to help the algorithm. Write in the comments your reactions and theories about the ending. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. If you liked my story, keep going and watch the next one that's appearing now. I think it will move you too.